dbutils, like, it's a utility method in Azure Databricks, and it allows us to interact with various database services. Like, it allows us to interact with file system. How we saw yesterday, dbutils.fs, we could use that and access the file system, and then it will give us to access to databases. Then clusters, we could manage the cluster using Databricks Utilities. So these are all the things that dbutils offers us. We could manage each of these using dbutils. So I'll show you some common methods. One thing is dbutils.fs. It will give us access to file system. And say if you want to copy a file, dbutils.fs.cp, and then we give the path. I need the path now. Take our path from here. Now, if you want to copy this file to another location, tables fs. Now that will move to this particular location. Now I want to list down all the files that it present there. So but what I want is I want you to see if whenever I'm making some error, how I want you to know how I'm fixing that and how I'm trying to decipher the error. So that I want you to know.
Yeah. So I have many questions about this dbutils and how this file system and all these things. I mean, I don't know whether I can ask today. I'll let you finish today 10:30 my time. But I have questions to like how the entire process works with the file system and in your project, do you get data in the files or do you get it as tables and you're using it as tables? And I wanted to understand how that is, how you're doing that.
Okay, so in my project, what I'm currently doing is it's mostly an external table. So those files will only be getting files. So those files will load to a location, and how we saw yesterday, we create table and we refer to that particular location. And when we query from the table, we'll get the data from the file. So that is how we usually do. And yeah.
So essentially, you'll just create an external table and keep it, and you'll be querying from the table, pretty much.
Correct.
And the external table points to the files, right? Basically, that's what it is.
Correct. That's what it is.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So this is how you run. If you have another notebook and you want to run another notebook in this notebook, you use this code dbutils.notebook.run, and you run the notebook. And then we could also that is how you run the notebook. Another notebook in this notebook. Yeah. Next, then is yeah, that is something that you could do. Next is dbutils.secrets. So these secrets are coming in the upcoming session. So I'll tell you all about what secrets are and how to configure secrets, all of that. You just this is another feature that dbutils offers. That's the only thing about dbutils.secrets. Okay, so I'll tell you what happens. So in the code, we are not supposed to give any of our access keys or anything. So for that, we will create initially we'll create a key vault, and we will store all of that in Azure Key Vault. And when coming to here, what happens is here we will do secret scope credential, and then we will create a secret and store the key in here as a secret, and we'll get a secret ID. That secret ID we will be referring here and getting the secret out of it. So initially the secret is nothing but our key from Key Vault. Okay. Yeah.
So that basically you'll get that ID and you'll just be using the ID, is it? That's all, pretty much.
Yes. So basic thing is we will have a secret. We will store that in the key vault. We'll get that key, that key we will store here as a secret, and the secret ID we will be using. So we have no connection to this access key at all. Through the secret, we'll go and get it. So all of that is coming later session. I just want to give you a glimpse here. Yeah. Then yeah. So
This is
then
how you store your accesses for the. I mean, your any other. Okay, you know what? I'll let you finish because I have many questions, but I'm getting too deep into it right now, so not a problem. Let's continue.
okay. So just note down the questions, or you can even mail them to me. I'll go through it if I'm not getting anything now. I'll refer something and then I'll get your answers by tomorrow.
Okay, I mean, but that's just I'm just having like beginner questions, right? These are not difficult questions, so
That is
I'm sure.
that's
Yeah.
completely fine. That's completely
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
So we saw how we could set a number of worker nodes. We know worker nodes now, right? We will have a cluster manager, we'll have a driver, and driver will divide our code to multiple nodes, and we'll have worker to worker nodes.
Hmm.
So we could set how many worker nodes we need, all of that here. Say if we have, we need to scale up to 10, or if we have 15, we could do that here.
Doesn't it
So
auto
that
scale?
is how we,
No, it doesn't auto scale.
it does auto scale. In case if we have it enabled, so in cluster we have to enable auto scale, right? So if we haven't enabled that, we could do that here based on our particular requirement.
Okay.
Yeah. Then there's something called as dbutils.widget. So widget, what are widgets? So initially, if you are giving some, if we write the notebook and there are some parameters. So to give the parameters, we could create widgets. So here I'm gonna create a widget, and inside the widget I'm gonna give a name as widget name, and then I'm gonna give a list of values as default value. Sorry, as the drop down, we should get these values: value 1, value 2. What is that?
Sorry, I didn't understand what the widget actually does.
So if in case if you have parameter, and
Okay.
say if you have a parameter, and then if you we can't go inside the code and change every time, right? So to do that, what widget does is whenever we create a widget, so we will get an option here that says we could access the widget from there. But I'm not sure why I'm getting this. It's widgets. This is in selection sequence must include default value. Yeah. So this is a widget.
Oh, that's what. Okay. 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 I see what you're
Yeah.
saying.
But if so if you wanna access the widget, so dbutils.widgets.get, you could use that and access your particular widget and give the widget name. I'll give you the default value. Say if I have selected 2 here, then you get the default value. So the use is, say if you have some SQL code or anything where you want a particular year, and you could set that year here, and whenever you're selecting that, that will get automatically updated here, and you could just click on run all the code, so you don't have to touch the code anymore.
Can you come again? Can you repeat that? So,
So if you
I didn't
have
get it.
any say if you have a SQL code, or if you have a PySpark code, where we were using filter, right? So inside filter, say I could show you an example. So here we were using filter. So in filter we were using greater than 50 or something. So
Hmm.
in the code we don't have to touch the code anymore. In the
Okay,
code,
you
we
just put
could
50 there.
yes, instead of 50, we will put this particular value, and then in the drop down we will get all the values here, and then then just click on it, and then we will get the value.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there are multiple ways to create a widget. One is a drop down, and there is also something else called text box. So text box is nothing but you could instead of drop down there will be text box. I can show you an example. Actually, they follow camera casing. Text box. Yeah, so there is text box. I'll show you tomorrow. Then the next thing is we already saw how to in dbutils.fs how to list down the file. Then we could read a particular file. So dbutils.fs we could use head to read the first maybe 10 lines or so of a file. So let me see. Usually we do this with text file. Try with CSV file as well. Okay, so it works with text file. So if you want to read the first 10 lines of a text file, you use dbutils.fs.head, give the path here, and then give the number of lines you want to read. So that is how you read. But usually we don't use this. It's just for theory purpose. We will read the file to a data frame and play with it.
Okay.
Now, if you want to put some file from our local to Databricks, we could use dbutils.fs.put command. So this put command and all is very useful because when you go to Snowflake also, it is very similar to Databricks. So there also you'll have put command. There also you'll have external table, all of that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So so in put command, you give the your local path here and your DBFS path here. So that is about put command.
That's basically just to dump the data into a file system somewhere, right? That's all it is after you do the calculations or whatever.
No, this put command is basically to put file from our local path. So this local path is my local from my system. If I want to put something to Databricks file system, I could use the
Oh,
put
that.
command.
Okay.
Yeah,
Putting. Okay.
yeah, that is what. So in just to give you an idea, in Snowflake also there's the same thing. We could use put. So in Snowflake, what happens is there will be stage. So using put command, we move our file to a stage. Then from the stage, we will copy to table. So this put
Yeah.
command it's universal from local system to the file system in cloud. So that is about put command. Then to remove a particular file. So let's say that is dbutils.fs.rm and give the whole path of the file. Yeah. So now it will just remove this file. So you're getting true because that file has been removed. If you'll get false because it is already removed. Second time you run it, it's not there. You're getting false. Now to create a directory, you use dbutils.fs.mkdir. That will make a directory. So let's say you want that will just yeah, tell me.
When you put the path, right, dbfs / file store, those things remain same as they are across all the
No.
like
So
when
this just this part remains the same. dbfs dot
okay.
this part. So this is to imply that this is part of the Databricks file system. The rest
Okay.
of the path changes. So I'm just taking this because I already have a path. So I just took this. it could be any path. So from here to here, it's up to you. You can decide what path you need.